Diana Holland, I know you've been in talks with the Department for Transport this week. What are your thoughts on how public transport could and should be made safer from infection?
Well, I think people will have seen many stories about the concerns that we've had for particularly bus drivers and the difficulties they've been facing. And we've made a huge number of changes to buses in terms of screening, in terms of cleaning, in terms of how they're operating. Other workers can stop and can wash their hands and so on. Drivers cannot do that when they're driving. What we've seen, I think, on the Thursday when we're supporting and applauding care workers and NHS workers is we're also talking about key workers, and transport workers have been recognised often for the first time. So I think what we've found really important in the discussions that we've been having with the Department for Transport is that workers are represented at the table. This is something we've wanted for so long, and it happens far too rarely. And as we move into the next stages, we have to ensure that the confidence that we've been able to get for transporting the nurses, the care workers, and the other key workers, that it's also there in the new ways that we're
Yes.
operating.
Well, and in terms of those, what do you think of this idea that commuters could be asked to take their temperature? Would it make your members who are bus drivers or who work on trains feel safer?
What we have actually called for, and we've been testing in some areas, temperature testing of transport workers, of bus drivers. So we've said that that is something that at least could play a part in reducing risk. So I think we would be extremely interested in looking at how that could roll out.
Okay.
What we want is to restore confidence. COVID-19 is absolutely critical, but there are other issues as well. Public transport has a vital role to play, and we don't want confidence in it to be lost.
Do you think your members would be responsible for doing the taping off of seats in order to keep a distance between commuters? Although, even if you leave a seat in between, that's not a 2-metre distance. Now, that rule may ease, but people have it in their heads that that's a safe distance.
Well, I think absolutely we've got to have confidence in every mode of transport that people need to get about their daily lives. And there will be, if we can get rid of the hazard through technical means with vaccines and with screens and all those things, great. If we can't, then social distancing is there. And that makes a number of modes of transport uneconomic in the way in which they've operated. Unite represents across the board transport workers. There are huge changes, and we're very supportive of an integrated transport approach, so you have the right mode of transport for the right journey. But we don't want to demonise any part of transport. Every part has a role to play, and we need to work together and have the workforce properly represented at the table when we're having those discussions.